guys, I'm Pat from Pat's Brewery, and just going to have a bit of a talk today. So, yeah, coming up to the end of the year, the video I was going to release this week, don't think there's actually much cop, in all honesty, and I also realised I was making a bit of a balls up part way through, so just to have a bit of a chat and talk about a few things. So before I do that, I've got to pour myself a beer. The Pat's Brewery glassware, not engraved, but that would be cool. Maybe that's something for the future. So let's just. I know I should probably do a nice close up on this, but today I'm not feeling 100%, so probably just going to leave it be with regards to the close-ups. Maybe I'll get one in. I do need to shorten the beer line a little bit. Here we are. So that's the leftovers black lager that we brewed a few weeks ago. I'm still liking that. So somehow a little bit more roastiness has actually kicked in, which I wasn't quite expecting. I was expecting the little amount of roastiness that we had in there to dive down even more, but actually the carbonation seems to have brought that out. But yeah, overall I'm really quite happy with that, and yeah, maybe over Christmas some other people will get to try that. So as I say, Christmas coming up. I hope everyone's bought their presents. I know I have. I actually finished wrapping them all today. I know, a bit keen, but early bird and all that. Right, so as I say, I just thought I'd have a bit of a chat today. A lot of people this time of year do a look back over things that have done over the year, and I could do that. I could. It's been this year I've got really back into doing my YouTube bits. I think this is the 30th week of one video a week, and the intention is to continue doing that until I've got 52 weeks in a row. It's going to be difficult to make sure that also gets done over the Christmas period, but we'll see. Maybe I'll try and film some extra content. But yeah, so really happy with that. But I don't think there's much reflectiveness that needs to really take place. I think I'd rather talk about what else is coming up in the future regarding brewing, the channel, and other things like that. I think future, not past. So let's go through a few things. I've written down a little list of things that I think I'll tell you about, and maybe at the end of next year, if I do a look back, I'll look at this video and see how many of these things on the list I actually managed to do, and judge myself. So the kind of two categories that I've kind of put these things into, although it's just one list, so hopefully I'll be able to pull the two different things out of. So the first kind of things that I want to do is actual kind of improvements to the brewery, to make it a better space and stuff, different equipment and things. And the other thing is, the other side is things I'd like to do with regards to my brewing. So pushing myself in bits and pieces to kind of what the next steps as a brewer that I want to do, and then maybe there's a little bit that I've got to think of as a third category of, you know, what I should be doing as a YouTuber. YouTuber with my whole 69 subscribers. I don't think I can call myself a YouTuber. But anyway, let's go through this list and have a little bit of a chat and let you know what the intentions are. So we'll go through like the brewery upgrades first, because I think that's probably the easiest thing to kind of discuss. So I think one of the first things I'm probably going to look to do is sorting out my sparge arm for the mash tun. I keep on moaning about it a fair bit, and I've got to get something sorted for that, because I think that's one of the areas which probably is letting down the brewing a little bit. I am torn between doing just a ball valve sparge, not ball valve, can't remember what they're called. Don't know. Just basically a ball with holes in that'll act as a sparge arm, or building a rotating sparge arm is going to be a pain in the arse. I have seen the SS Brewtech recirculation bit of kit, which kind of just sits on the grain, but I don't know if that's actually any good. I'm not sure if that's meant to be used in addition to a sparge arm, or if that's just a replacement. Don't know. So that's something I've got to look into anyway, and decide what I'm going to be doing. Something else that needs to happen is I need to sort out an extractor fan for the brewery. Probably been looking at a inline extractor fan, because I've got a little, I think it's called a mushroom chimney vent in my garage, so I should just be able to hook up some ducting with one of those inline extractor fans, hook it up to one of the plugs and just run that when I'm at a boil. I think that is important, because I can't remember if I used the footage the other day when I was doing my brew day, but it did get a little bit steamy in there, and just makes sense that finally get an extractor in place. So that one shouldn't be too big a deal, but I think the thing I have to be aware of with that is not having any moisture kind of build up in the. Don't keep on calling it ducting, just because obviously you know, don't want moisture build up in there. Otherwise, that's how you get mould and bits and pieces. Don't need that. So that's something that needs to be done. And I think the last main thing with regards to the actual brewery is I want to sort out the actual work. Well, actually I've got two more things. The first one is where the actual kit is set up. It's all on one level at the moment, shelving that I built myself, and it's okay. You know, it does what it needs to do, but because the mash tun is that much bigger, and there's always that potential that I'll maybe be going over to a larger kettle at some point, that I think it would make sense to maybe adjust the size of the shelving. I've done a little diagram which I'll stick somewhere for you guys to have a look, but basically it's just knowing the mash tun, so I don't need to get my little thumb ladder out, so I can scoop the grain out when needed. And I think while I'm at it, I can use that as an opportunity to kind of readjust where my pumps are, and kind of look at my water chiller or plate chiller, and kind of think about, you know, the right lengths of all of my pipe work and bits and pieces. I think that's going to be something that's going to take a little bit of time. I was thinking at one point of going over to a stainless steel table. I thought that would be really cool, but the stainless steel tables, they're not going to be exactly what I'm after, and I'm not going to bother to learn how to weld just so that I can build myself a stainless steel table. That would be cool though. It would be cool to just go, oh yeah, so I'll just learn how to fucking weld, just so that I can build my own stuff. But I don't think that's on the cards for next year. Maybe the year after. We'll talk about it next Christmas. So anyway, yeah, I want to sort out that work surface and bits and pieces and just sort that out. And last bit is a bit of a storage and a tidy up of the garage in general. I know that I've spoken in the past of the garage is always a mess, and that's what garages are. They're a constant mess because you're working in there and you're doing stuff, and if you need something to go somewhere, you pop it in the garage, don't you? Or at least that's what I do. No judgment. So they're the kind of the buildy type things that I want to get sorted for next year. If you happen to know anything about sparge arms, recirculation arms, or inline extractor fans, any hints or tips? Obviously I do review YouTube a fair bit, but if there's any particular videos you think it's worthwhile watching, let me know and I'll have a little look. The next thing that I want to start doing, or with regards to actually the brewing aspect of next year, a couple of things that I want to do. So obviously I spent a bit of time at the end of this year setting myself up to do larger batches, which I still haven't done. But the first brew day of the new year is going to be a 10-gallon batch. I've also planned what beer it's going to be. I was going to do the Vacant Gesture, just because it's a beer that I've brewed quite a few times now, fairly consistently. So if you want to change something and do something new, if you do it with something that you're consistently able to produce, when you change one factor, there's less chance of it, screwing up. But I kind of figured that maybe I needed a bit of a bigger challenge, or maybe a bit of a bigger beer than a Vacant Gesture. Controversial, I know, but so I'm not going too far from the Vacant Gesture. We are doing another one of Howson's Brewery's top beers, the proof of concept. So again, it's a recipe. Now I've not done the proof of concept before, but grain bill, not that complicated. The main one will be the hops. There's a fair bit of hops in there for the proof of concept. So I think it's 5 different types of hops, and some of them it's up to 150 grams across 3 different instalments. So quite a large hop bill. But if we're going big on the quantity of the actual beer, then why not go big on the hoppage as well? But yeah, so that's going to be potentially the first beer that I brew in the new year. What else do I want to do with regards to brewing next year? So I do want to try and get a few more brew days in. That does mean though that I'm going to be having to drink more. Oh no! I actually done a little spreadsheet the other day with regards to how many beers I would need to drink a day if I wanted to brew a 5-gallon batch every 2 weeks. Based off of the fact that I've got 6 ways of distributing the beer. And it only worked out, I say only, but it worked out at 3.5 pints a day, which, you know what, on a weekend, I'm crushing it. But during the week, 3.5 pints a day every day, people might start saying that I've got a problem. So off the back of that, you then start saying, well, you've got to sort out some sort of distribution, getting more other people drinking your beer. And I know I've got plenty of friends out there that seem to be happy to have a pint with me, so I'll just have to make sure that I speak to a few of them and get them involved. No more bringing beers round mine, just a donation into a tip jar maybe. But no, in reality I think brewing every other weekend's not going to be happening, but maybe if we can do at least one a month, I think that would be good. I think what I really do want to do though, with regards to brewing this year, and kind of I almost did mention it about distribution and bits and pieces, but I want to enter one competition in 2022. We don't seem to have many competitions where I live, so I'm in Southend in Essex. But yeah, I've not really seen much of a home brewing. We've got a homebrew shop, but haven't really seen much with regards to. I've tried to look for some forums and bits and pieces, but don't seem to have anything. So I want to try and find a competition, or at least do a bit of a beer swap. So I actually sent some beers up to some people I used to work with over the weekend, and it didn't cost that much to send 6 beers to them. So you know, maybe get a little bit more involved in this beer swapping scene. You know, that'd be quite nice. Yeah, you can try and get involved and do a little bit of that. Something else I want to try and do with regards to my beers next year is, or beers in 2022, because you never know when you could be watching this. So recently I have watched the Beer Masters Amazon Prime TV show. Pretty entertaining. I think it is something that people are on two sides of the fence on with regards to whether or not they like it or not. Old James Blunt, pretty fun guy. But I quite enjoyed it. But I think the thing that it's kind of sparked from myself is actually they're quite interesting styles each week that they've called out. Now, apart from the first week, they're all pretty heavy hitting beers, talking of at least over 6% each one, which probably won't go down too well with my normal crowd of people I serve beer to. I do tend to keep my beers more at the standard 4.5%. Sometimes go a little bit higher. Some people that I serve my beers to actually like it a little bit more session level. So, but in any case, I think potentially I could do 5 beers following the same pattern of the Beer Masters show. Try and follow the same rules and bits and pieces. It's funny because my sister done a similar sort of thing with the Bake Off one year. Every week she'd watch the show and then she'd get her husband to pick one of the, it was either the signature or the technical bake, and she would then bake that week or the week after or something like that. And I kind of thought, well, it's good enough for her, maybe I can replicate it. I might complete balls it up, but and it's only an idea for maybe some content really, but it could be quite fun to try and replicate that show. I guess the next thing to kind of think about for doing next year, and maybe it does link in back with the old Beer Masters TV show, but maybe try and get a couple of my friends locally a little bit more interested in brewing. You know, it's a case that at the moment you know, people are more than happy to consume the product, but we are a few people who have said, oh yeah, we'll come for a brew day. None of them have inquired too much as to when they can partake in an actual brew day, so maybe I'll put the suggestion forwards, see if I can get an assistant brewer to do all my cleaning for me. Probably not, but who knows. Last thing with regards to actual, well, no, it's not even. This one is more to do with actually the channel, not. So let's go on to that list of things that we need to do. So with regards to Pat's Brewery on YouTube, as I mentioned, I want to finish off my 52 weeks of videos. So I've still got at least 22 more weeks of that, I think. So we will be doing that, but so I've gone over already onto a nicer camera rather than just using my phone. I'm looking to improve audio, and also maybe look into doing the 2-camera setup for a few more videos. I know that, just joking, I haven't set up the other camera. Now I know that I done that video the other day with regards to reviewing as one of Harry's beers, but it wasn't as good as I wanted. There's some quality issues with regards to the video that I got off my phone when I was combining the two methods of filming. It didn't go quite as well, but so maybe, you know, a bit more cameras, a bit more videography. Try and improve that. And so along with the audio, lighting and all of that. So I want to try and make those improvements. And also the last thing that, because I think I've been talking for a little while now, last thing that I need to definitely make an improvement on next year is my 1 litre chug challenge time. Didn't perform too great this year, and I think we need to improve that timeline. I mean, if I can get it to 30 seconds, that's the goal. I had actually planned on doing some sort of like training montage, but I've not even bothered since doing it. I had it all in my head. I was going to practice by drinking, you know, litres and litres of water first of all, then, you know, what was that film? Oh, it was like Beer Fest or something like that, where they drink goat's piss or something like that. So I was going to joke around and say I was doing shit like that, but that didn't happen. But I do genuinely want to improve my my chug challenge time, which, you know, a few more fun videos like that as well I think might be needed. And who knows, we've obviously got a Christmas Day video that needs to be filmed, so oof, could do something exciting for that, who knows. Alright, I've been drinking and talking for a little while now. Really enjoying the black lager. I think I don't think I could ever replicate it, because the main aspect of this beer was that the grains were going out a little bit. It's also one of the reasons why I haven't actually talked much about the ABV or anything like that, because it's just a bit of fun to use up the grains and drink what you drink. I think it ended up being about 4.4%, but I think using from what the grains were, if they were fresh, should have produced something like a something like a 5.2, but I can't really. I don't mind. This is Really nice, really not too heavy, as no lager should be heavy. But I mentioned it's got a nice little bit of character with the roastiness that it's producing. Anyway. Something else that I'll leave you on is I realise that you know, you're always getting the same view of the bar. What I'll do is we've got a few things that needs to be changed in here. I know people have said that it looks a little bit sauna-ish. Hopefully it's going less and less like a sauna and a bit more like a nice old pub. Ish. But yeah, got to move some things around. At the moment I've actually got a lime tree in here for the winter, you know, keep the frost off. But you know, so maybe we'll do a video in the new year just to go through what we've got in the bar, and you guys can, you know, maybe put in some input as to what else is needed to really fill out the space, other than clientele. One more thing. Oktoberfest 2022. So, 2020 was the first year of Oktoberfest, and it didn't go ahead. I think I've spoken about it briefly. But in 2021 I didn't even bother. But Oktoberfest, it's going to happen. 2022. It's going to happen. Friends and family only. Sorry, random people on the internet. I'm not going to send out an open invite, although you do all know that I live in Southend. But yeah, that's going to happen, and it's going to be good. I've just got to start planning what beers I'm going to be doing for that. I've got one in mind that's a bit different, but can't tell you everything. And on that note, guys, hope you have a good Christmas or holidays and bits and pieces like that, and a happy new year. Although we've got the Christmas special maybe coming up, but yeah, you guys take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers. Very poor. Hit the back of my throat. Oh.